Hey guys, so this is a little bit different than how we normally start a lesson. The other night, or I guess yesterday, I gave you guys, we worked through day 6 and I gave you some homework at the end of that day. I said that we had these last 3 problems here, including one that's a pretty scary word problem. So before we get into day 7, I just wanted to maybe double check these with you and make sure you were good to go. So don't forget, we got 3 steps when we solve a word problem. Step 1, find the variable. And we do that by reading the last sentence. How much do you earn per hour at your part-time job? So how much are we earning per hour? I'm going to represent that with, let's go M. And so guys, I cannot stress enough, please make sure you label what your variable is. M is going to be money earned per hour. And that's the key right there, the money earned per hour. So that's step 1, we've got our variable. Step 2, let's kind of read the rest of the problem and see if we can find a total. So we have a part-time job, we're working 3 hours on Friday, 6 hours on Saturday. We receive an allowance of $20 per week. Ooh, and this week we earned $92. That is step 2. We have found our total. Step 3, plug in your variable and any other numbers they give you. Well, we're told that we're working 3 hours on Friday, 6 hours on Saturday. And for each of these hours we're working, we know we're making this much money, M, per hour. Now, we don't know how much, but we know that's what it's being represented by. So 3 hours times the number of money we're making per hour, plus 6 hours, so times the number of money we're making per hour, plus what else did we receive? We received an allowance of $20 per week, so plus 20. So this is all the money we're making this week, and it should all add up to be $92. So let's find out how much we're making per hour. Let's solve this 2 or 3 step equation. Step 1, combine like terms that are variables. 3M and 6M, 9M. What are you guys thinking next? That's right. Let's subtract 20. And then finally, we're going to divide by 9. And so how much money are we making per hour? Making about $8 per hour. That's actually a little bit more, I think, than minimum wage. So, hey, for a part-time job, that's not too bad. Now, these last 2 problems are a little bit easier. Problem 2, we want to know what the value of this expression is when r is -2. Oh, okay. So that means we're plugging -2 in. We're substituting that in for r. So -3, instead of -3 times r, we've got -3 times -2 plus 6 plus r, which we know is -2. And this is just an expression, guys. We can just combine all this here. So -3 times -2, a negative times a negative is a positive. So 6 plus 6 is 12, plus -2, that's really -2. If you're adding a negative, it's really subtraction. So that would be 10, which is C. And then finally, when a number is increased by 3, and that number is doubled, the result is -8. Ooh, now I like this one. When a number, now we don't know that number. I'm going to call that number C. So when a number is increased by 3, so when C has 3 added to it, and then this result is doubled. So wait a minute, what does it mean to double something? That means to multiply by 2. So C plus 3, whatever we end up getting, that's going to be multiplied by 2. It's going to be doubled. And we're told the result is -8. So when you add these together, double it, you should get -8. Well, guess what? This is just like those problems we saw back on day 6. I'm sorry, yeah, on day 6, the day we're on right now, right above us. Distributing, combining like terms, and dividing. Same thing here. Distributing, combining like terms, and dividing. So guys, if you have any questions about your homework, if there's something you're still a little confused on, please get in touch. I'd be more than happy to help. Now, this takes us to day number 7. And something you're going to notice is our topic is virtually the same as day 6. We're really wanting to spend some time working on these multi-step equations. Standard is even the same, solving multi-step equations. But guys, the key today is going to be, we're going to see some fractions and decimals. And one of the big things that a lot of students do in algebra is they start to panic when they see fractions and decimals. But guys, a fraction is just a number. A decimal is just a number. 1/2, that's 0.5. These are both just numbers. We can add numbers, we can subtract numbers, we can multiply numbers, we can divide numbers. We can do anything with these that we could with any normal numbers. So let's try not to panic here. And remember our steps. Let me go back up here. Step 1. Handle parentheses if they exist. Step 2. Deal with exponents if they exist. I'm going to run out of room here. Step 3, combine like terms with your variables. And step 4, combine like terms with numbers. If you've done those 4 steps, really all you're going to be left with is just multiplying or dividing if there's anything still attached to your variable. And we're going to see that in a lot of these problems. For example, let's look at number 1 together, guys. So, we don't have any parentheses, we don't have any exponents. We have a over 7, but we don't want to multiply or divide until the end if we can help it. But we also have plus 5/7. So if you have a number being added to a, we usually want to get rid of those first. And we have 2/7 over here, so if we have a plus 5/7, to get rid of that and get it away from a, we can subtract 5/7 on both sides. 5/7 minus 5/7 cancels. 2/7 minus 5/7. Now guys, if you don't know how to subtract fractions, if they have the same denominator, that denominator stays the same. And then we subtract the numerators. 2 minus 5, -3. From there, you can say, okay, now we just have a over here being divided by 7. Well, if you want to solve that, what's the opposite of division? Multiplication. If you have something being divided by 7, if you multiply it by 7, that will destroy the denominator. And we're left with a equals, that number goes up to the numerator, -3 times 7. Wait a minute, isn't this denominator also 7? Oh, those are going to destroy each other too. So a is -3. Huh, that's interesting. How about number 2? This one is going to be even weirder. Similar setup. We've got 6 being multiplied to v. We don't want to divide that 6 yet because we'd have to divide that by 6 and that by 6. How about instead, if we're subtracting 5/8, let's add 5/8 to move that over, to get rid of it. So it cancels itself out. 8s stay the same on the bottom, same denominator. 7 plus 5, we're talking 12. Now, quick reminder, 12 over 8, that'll reduce, won't it? What goes into both 12 and 8? Well, 2 can go into them. Ooh, how about 4? 4 can go into them. And I don't think there's a number bigger than 4 that can. So if you wanted to, and I would recommend it, 12 over 8, if you simplify this, 12 divided by 4 is 3. 8 divided by 4 is 2. This is really 6v equals 3 over 2, or 1.5. Now here's where a calculator is going to come in handy. We can divide by 6. The problem is you are dividing a fraction by another number. So if you're going to do this, guys, here's how you should type this in on your calculator. We're going to go parentheses 3 divided by 2. That's our fraction. Close parentheses. And then divide by 6. 0.25. Or on my calculator, if I want to turn that into a fraction, I can press math. Very first option is fraction. Press enter. And so V is going to equal 1/4, or you could have called that 0.25. And that is a tough one. And I want to do one more of these tough ones with you guys to really help you and make sure you're kind of seeing how these work. Let's do one or two tougher ones, or one or two ones kind of similar. So number 3, some of you guys are probably catching on. You're saying, okay, we need to add 9 first, don't we? And you're right. But again, you probably can't do 5/6 plus 9 in your head. So we go 5/6 plus 9. And here's what you can't do. You can't leave this as a decimal. We can't work with this decimal. It is an infinite decimal. So we turn this into a fraction. And we see 59 over 6. So J over 6 is equal to 59 over 6. And now we got the same step as we did on number 1 to end this problem. If you have J being divided by 6, and we need to solve for J, that means we got to get rid of 6. Let's multiply. So those 6's multiply out. We're left with J equals, and guys, good news. This fraction's denominator is 6 also. So if you multiply this fraction by 6, that 6 goes to the top, but it's going to be divided out by this 6. So J is 59. Now here's what I want you guys to do for me. Today I'm really going to let you guys get some practice in here. And then I'm going to come back and we'll talk about it and we'll finish strong. I'm going to let you guys see if you can work on 4, 6, and 7 for me. 4, 6, and 7. Take your time. Make sure you do this in pencil. Pretty please. And when you're ready, you can unpause the video and we'll see what you got. All right, before we get into 4, I want to look at 6 and 7 real quick. So number 6, subtract 0.24 over. We want to combine the regular numbers together because there are no variables to put together. And then we're going to divide by 4. And that gives us 3.88. Number 7, same idea, subtract 2.45 over. We're combining these numbers together. They're on opposite sides, so we have to do the opposite operation. Divide by negative 3.1. And you get T is negative 6. And finally, 3/4 plus 1/2. That's really 0.75 plus 0.5. We know if you do that is going to be 1.25 or 5 over 4. And then when you multiply by 3, this time that's not going to cancel out the denominator. That 3 goes to the top. 5 times 3 is 15. And that 4 stays the same. 5 times 3 is 15 over 4, and that does not reduce. And so as we get ready to wrap up, guys, there's just 2 problems left I really want us to take a look at, one of which I'm going to start with you guys and let you finish. The other is one we're going to work out together so I can get you ready for some of the delta math that we're going to be having come kind of down the pipe as we get into our third delta math that'll start here soon. So number 9, we've got kind of a bigger looking equation here. We got some parentheses, and when we look at these parentheses, is there anything inside of them we can combine together? That has an M, that doesn't, so nope. But what do you guys see on the outside? I see a negative there. And if there's a negative right there, we know there's a negative 1 there. And what property can we use, guys, to help start simplifying this? We can use the distributive property. Distribute negative 1 to both 6 and to negative 5. So 11m, negative 1 times 6m is negative 6m. Negative 1 times negative 5, there's that double negative, gives us positive 5, equals 25. And I wasn't kidding when I said I'm going to let you guys finish. Now that we've done that first step and clarified, we have ourselves a 3-step problem. So we've dealt with the parentheses. Now we're going to combine like terms with our variables, combine like terms with our numbers, and then either multiply or divide. So you can pause the video, and let's see if you guys can finish this problem out. If you were able to get this problem completely correct, I'm going to tip my cap to you because that means you are on your way. You're doing well. So we combine 11m minus 6m to get 5m, subtract the 5 over to combine it with 25, and then divide by 5 to find out that m is really 4. That's what makes this whole statement true. If m is 4, this left side is going to be equal to 25. Last problem, and maybe the trickiest. So remember our steps, guys. Step 1, parentheses. We got it right here. P minus 3 will not reduce. Those aren't like terms, but we have a 3/5 on the outside. So we distribute it. 3/5 times P, we know there's really a 1 there. 3/5 times 1 is 3/5 P. 3/5 times negative 3, that negative 3 gets multiplied to the top. So negative 3 times 3, negative 3 times 3 would be negative 9 over 5. So we got that by doing this times that equals negative 4. And again, negative 9/5 is just a number, guys. So we add 9/5 over. And again, this is where a calculator is your friend. Negative 4 plus parentheses 9 over 5. That is negative 2.2, which I think as a fraction is negative 11 over 5. So then we can divide by 3/5. So either you could write this as negative 11 over 5 or negative 2.2. And then negative 2.2 divided by parentheses 3 over 5. Ooh, that's ugly. So as a fraction, that would be negative 11 over 3. Remember, we do not want our answer to be an infinite decimal. We can't work with that. Oh, I'm sorry. Ooh, I'm so sorry. Negative 11 over 3. Not negative 11.3. And so, guys, we're going to cut today into 2 parts. This is part 1. Be on the lookout for an assignment that's going to really kind of get us some practice with this, because I think the more we work with these, the more comfortable we're going to get. And it's just going to take practice, guys. So if you have any questions, you know how to contact me. And I hope to be seeing and talking to you guys soon.